If you're wondering why the Passport Bros movement exists, watch this.
The passport bro movement in America exists because men in America, they lack motivation, they're mediocre, and women in America have to work, they get educated, and they start making money because they have to. So why would American women have to put up with a man that don't have any of those qualities? This passport bros, they think they can go to another country and offer this woman, and he says it in the video that if he goes to the Philippines and he offers a woman a better life, he said it right there, he's just basically manipulating these women into thinking that they're gonna have a better life with them, which they might because they may live in very poor areas. But guess what? If you bring her to America, that's expensive. You're gonna have to work your ass off. You're gonna have to be the provider. You're gonna have to pay for all her bills if she doesn't have an education. You might even have to pay for her education, and she might end up leaving you because life here is different, and you can't expect women in America to be like the women in other countries. You can't expect women here in America to go for a guy that's below them. If I go to school, I make six figures. I want a man that makes six figures too or more. Because men in America, they want their women to go 50-50 on the bills and 50-50 maybe on the household and the chores, which usually is more like 90-10. So why would a woman here settle for some loser? We have high expectations because we can. I literally just saw a video of a guy that is stranded in the Dominican Republic and he's broke and he's asking people to cash app him money for his ticket back to the US. Because this man, they're broke in America and they go to another country where the value of the dollar is a lot higher, and they lie to these women and they pretend that they're wealthy men when they're not. So they are gaslighting this woman into thinking that they're gonna come here and they're gonna have this great life. Just stop lying to women. It doesn't matter if they're from another country. They are women, they have expectations, and you're lying to them. And you know what? Most quality men in America, they have no problem finding women here.
Passport bros are around for a reason. They are the men that American women didn't want or see as human. When he's denied love at home, he's going to find it in another country where he is wanted and seen as a prize for what he brings to the table. Not his height, member length and girth, or being born into wealth and status. The real truth that no one talks about is that Western women now want more dominating men since Western men have been cultured by the womanist movement and hence have become more feminized. They want power and control of their men's lives, but still want the man to look more masculine. It's also about personal choices. Dominant women can also go to other countries to find more submissive men and end up only finding more masculine ones. In that case, they don't really get to be with any men at all. Because for men, financial success isn't as important as their personal respect and need for authority. Let me make this clear to any women around in a way they can understand now, that they work like us men. Marriage is like a corporation. The corp hires workers suited to what's needed. If the worker hired isn't doing a good job, naturally said worker will be sacked. If you were the corp CEO, would you hire a worker with better habits and knowledge who love what they do, or hire that one worker that you know brings no benefits? It's the same with passport bros. They just want to find a smarter woman that can help them properly in their course in life. They are more educated, gentle, and loyal along with the aptitude to grow stronger and smarter. It's like comparing someone who will only bring benefits in the short term versus someone who will give them in the long run. No corporation will give up on the seedling. The relationship is the same. Hooking up is the interview, being boyfriend and girlfriend is being accepted to work temporarily, and marriage is the permanency. The gender marketplace is also variable in this regard. For example, an average-looking Western woman who goes to a country like Japan will not get the expected attention from the men. Because for the men, the above-average Japanese woman will still be more attractive. However, an average-looking Western man who goes to Japan will find the best-looking Japanese woman to want them. The reason for this is the perception of gender and power in both countries. For Japanese women, the American man means a new life and a new world where they can happily be submissive and enjoy prosperity. For the Japanese man, an American woman who is dominant is not enticing enough. The man might enjoy physical intimacy, but he won't become submissive to her and go against his male nature. A lot of other factors are at play here. Income, age, skin color, and beauty are all contributing factors to how gender roles play in certain countries. A successful Western woman in her mid-30s might have more value in her country than she would in another. An average-looking woman in her early 20s will have a much higher value in a country like Africa or the Middle East than in her own country where she's only average. It's no surprise that males are venturing abroad in search of female companionship. When women in the West consistently insult men because they don't respect or even like their husbands and boyfriends, I can't say that I blame the men for wanting to become passport bros and move to other nations. These men have left their native countries in search of a partner who will live up to their standards and not look down on them. If you give womanism some thought, you might start to wonder whether it is a product of indoctrination, or whether it is really something that women have long secretly desired but haven't been able to do on their own for thousands of years. Typical American or Western women feel they are entitled to certain things. They want the red carpet rolled out for them every day. They want us to understand that no can mean yes, no can also mean not yet, and yes can always mean no. If we make even one mistake, we'll be branded as cowards, and ladies don't appreciate cowardly guys. That is terrible news since it means the woman is dead and gone. Any misstep could lead to accusations of assault. Although some American men have figured it out, the vast majority has given up and gone on to simpler pastimes such as dating women from other nations. Because of their lack of economic security, women in developing nations rarely display entitlement like the women in the West do. When they do, they become completely devoted to their new leader, yearning for his company and support in every way possible. Women in these countries aren't embracing womanism because of economic limitations. In their culture, men have not provided equal rights and opportunities for women, and neither has society allowed women the option to choose to be feminists. In their most fundamental form, men just want to feel appreciated. There is now completely zero appreciation for women. They believe they are entitled to a certain level of consideration simply because they are female. I can't remember the last time I did something good for a woman and she thanked me for it. My counsel to men has always been to follow their own paths. Either embrace your individuality or learn to fit in where you are needed. I wonder if American women, assuming largely white middle-class women, have migrated toward interracial experimentation in the same manner that American males have over the years. I hear more about Western women's tourism to Black Africa and the Caribbean than to Latin America or Asia looking for physical intimacy. Is it because American women are increasingly looking for the stereotypical bad boys to fill the gaps left by American men? Is interracial adult entertainment a real trend for white women, or merely an imagined fantasy? Also, are men or women duped by the direction that explicit content points? My argument is that Western men prefer submissive women. American women, on the other hand, if my estimate is true, are now drawn toward more dominating alpha males. It's always interesting to expose a woman to her reality since they never want to face or confess it by themselves. Men are now heading to Eastern countries in search of feminine women. Also, keep in mind that there are relatively few overweight women in Thailand. Even the ladyboys are more attractive than Western ladies. That should tell you all you need to know. Even a somewhat feminized male from the West will likely appear more macho than many Asian men over there, therefore women will find such men appealing. When you consider their financial level and resources, it's simple to see why guys travel to such places. I recently read online how women from Thailand think that the more Western men they date, the more chances they have of being romantically involved with them in a long-term commitment and eventually go back to America, the United Kingdom, or Canada with them. Weirdly enough, once such women go to a Western country, they only realize that there's a separate game at play over there. They see that Western women are not submissive and are then usually peer pressured into becoming more like them, which is why their Western white partners choose to leave them. The partners who initially brought them into their country because they were submissive and more receiving of their authority are now left with foreign women who are acting like white women. There's no doubt that when men and women from around the world find Western partners and move to Western countries benefit economically. After making the move, they're immediately surrounded by more opportunities, better quality food, a better environment, and usually lesser crime levels. They also start to earn more than they would back in their home countries. However, there's always a downside to this as well. The men and women from Western countries who choose to find foreign partners and bring them back home are usually shunned by their social circles. They risk losing their chances of having partners of their own backgrounds and end up with people who have a different way of thinking. Men never had an issue with providing for the family. We just have an issue with 99% of the options in the West being worse than gutter trash. And that's why we decide to become digital nomads, or just walk away. It's either that, or burn the village down to feel its warmth. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support, so please hit the like button. Share this video with your friends and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.